Hello.
Happy April 1st, everybody. Despite what Teresa said in the chat, this is not an April Fool's prank.
It's actually really not.
It's just poor planning on our part. So,
But welcome to the Friday Bean.
welcome to the Friday Bean. For all of our newbies out there, I'm Starla.
I'm Marc. I'm the CEO of 𝔸𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕒.
And I am the CEO of... What brand makes this water bottle? It's my initials, SM. So,
See? That's
yeah.
proof.
Guys, happy Friday. Today we're going to be sharing 5 of the biggest Etsy shops in the world.
Yes.
This is one of those episodes that I've been wanting to do for a while, but I'm always a little bit nervous sharing shops. But I have a feeling that, I mean, we're not saying anything bad about these shops, so I don't think that the shop owners are going to get upset. It's just free advertising for them.
I don't really care that much anyway.
But the short of it is, like, last week we did shop critiques, and we basically gave you guys some freebies on advice on things that we basically use as our auditing criteria when it comes to a perfectly branded Etsy shop. Shops that follow all of the best practices, shops that follow our advice when it comes to those psychological triggers that we always talk about. For example, smiling faces in your actual shop owner photo rather than putting a logo in there. It's psychologically proven to help your audience and your viewers connect with you, because people love faces. They love to see a smiling face. So, with that being said, today we're going to look at some of the biggest shops in the world.
Top performing shops in the world.
Yes, and I did this by using eRank.com's top sellers report. I did... Oh my goodness, it never fails. And basically I went through and I looked at shops that had the most sales yesterday, which is a feature that you can check out in the top sellers report on eRank. And I also looked at some of the top sellers in general. So Etsy sellers who have the most sales in the world. I removed supply shops. Not that they aren't valid, not that they aren't great, not that some of you don't sell supplies, but a lot of the supply shops, they are successful because they have thousands of listings.
Because they're supply shops.
Because
they have a huge demographic.
And they don't really brand their shops. It's more that because they do wholesale orders and things like that.
Oh, it's listing overload. They've got so many thousands of listings that it's nearly impossible for them to be not successful.
At very low prices.
At extremely low prices. So they're actually seeing how much money they make. It's kind of hard because a lot of them will have like several 100,000 sales, but some of the things are like 10 cents.
Yeah.
So it's like it doesn't necessarily equate to a whole lot. So.
Exactly. So these are as close to the top of the list as possible with either most sales yesterday or most sales in general on Etsy. Some of them have both. Some of them are on the list for most sales yesterday, and they're on the list for most sales in the world, period. But I also wanted to make sure that I chose shops from all different categories as well. I wanted, I didn't want it to all be jewelry, or I didn't want it to all be stickers. I wanted them to all be a little bit different. There's actually a new one on this list that I've never heard of, and I'm very impressed by their growth. So we're going to be going into that, exploring their branding, looking at the things that they're doing right, maybe taking a look at their SEO even, looking at their listing photos.
Just seeing how they do their thing.
Exactly. We're going to crack their secrets.
In our little disclaimer, we don't see what goes on behind the scenes for these shops.
Yes.
Some of the shops, I didn't look at a couple of them. There might be some things that don't quite make sense into how that particular listing is selling. Maybe the SEO kind of sucks. They've got repeat terms. But you have to understand that some of these shops have been around for a long time, and once you get to the point where you're making upwards of like 1 million sales, the SEO doesn't really matter anymore. So we don't know what a lot of their off-site advertising looks like. We don't know what their customer interaction looks like. We don't know anything that goes on behind the scenes. We only see what we can see.
Exactly.
So
somebody said, what's a supply shop? Basically a shop that
sells supplies.
Yeah, supplies for making things. It's mainly bead shops and charm shops, and they're not making the beads. They're buying the beads in bulk. creating little packages of the beads, reselling them, which you're allowed to do on Etsy. You are allowed to be a supply seller, and most of the time you didn't make the supplies. You're allowed to also sell tools that help you to make things. But since that's not a majority of what Etsy is, though it's great if you're an Etsy seller, you can find another Etsy seller to support and buy supplies from. I know that that's not a majority of what you guys sell, and probably not what you're interested in. I do know that we have quite a few of you who sell things like dyed yarn and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
nothing against those shops.
Right, but for those of you who do that, who sell dyed yarns and things like that, you're still making something. You know, you're taking the time to actually do something, and I still kind of feel that that's more like a handcrafted thing. But like we said, it's totally allowed on Etsy if you do things like fabric and beads and, you know, anything that you use to make things. So, Amber
Had said shopping cart and Dutch's Winklewagon. I love it.
That's great. That's we'll start using that terminology when we shop online. Add it to the
I
Winklewagon.
absolutely will.
All right.
Can you go into my Winklewagon and check out for me? I wonder how supply shop lists their products handmade vintage, because it's not handmade, right? Some of them are. Some of them sell.
It's a category, a
Is
supply to make
Okay.
make things. It's actually a category.
So I was mistaken.
Yeah, in your attributes, you can list it as a supply to make something. So, are we ready to get into it?
I think we are.
Let's jump right in, guys.
Sorry if it's a little bit quieter this week. I actually don't know why it's not. It's normally up here, and I have it cranked.
Do we sound quiet today? Let us know.
Well, yeah, let me know. Do we sound awful quiet today? If so, then I'll just figure something out while she's talking. But
Yeah.
let's go ahead and get right into the topic, shall we? Let me move things around here. Let's
Yeah.
move us up here.
Can you full screen it and get rid of the search bar so they can't see the names of the other shops before we get to them? Just
No,
F11?
actually, I can't do that.
Oh, you can't F11?
No. Oh, well, yeah, I guess I can. I guess PowerPoint's going to open first, though, so.
We're very professional.
Okay,
Very.
so this one first.
Yeah. Yes. I've got them in the order that I wanted to
All
cover them.
right. Wow. Okay. Screen share. We're in the top right corner.
Okay, perfect. First shop is a seed shop. Right now on Etsy, seeds are huge. So, and we have a couple alphas who sell seeds. We have an alpha in the Handmade Alpha Academy, Annie, who sells seed bombs and bunny fertilizer over at Hopping Trails. So seeds are very, very popular, and a really neat thing that you can actually add a handmade touch to, like Annie does, where she makes the actual seed bombs in the shapes of little bunnies that you put down in your pots. But Seed Geeks, a couple things that I noticed right away is the consistent branding. I have no doubts as to what their branding colors are, what their logo is, and the photos are so crisp. These are some of the crispest, prettiest cover photos I've ever seen.
This is a macro lens picture. Yeah. These pictures are taken with very high quality stuff.
Absolutely.
Definition of a shop that's investing into their products, because you know that they're not taking that picture with their cell phone.
No, not at all. And if they're using stock, then this is
it's very good stock.
Yeah, then this is some great stock.
Somebody said volume increased. Yeah, it's because I turned up the mic.
Oh, okay.
But it's probably going to peak pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'll figure it out next week.
Let us know if for any reason it sounds bad. If it starts sounding...
if the quality sounds like booty, then I'll do some quick maintenance in a few minutes.
Couple little other things that I notice is heirloom seed is right in their tagline. You can kind of keyword optimize this area, which is cool. They are a star seller, but one of the things that I want to point out today, because I know that it's been a huge topic of discussion, is some of the shops that we're going to be featuring today aren't star sellers. And I know that a lot of you have been stressing out about the star seller badge. Couple things about that. First of all, it has no influence whatsoever on your search ranking. It doesn't have any influence on your placement in search. It doesn't mean anything for your Etsy success. Second thing is that it doesn't have any influence on buyer perception either. Buyers don't know the difference between this badge and the other badges that you get. I think that the other shops that we're going to show you today, they have some of the little badges, but it's like, fast shipping and, great response rate, great shop for gifts.
In mind that the majority of these shops that we're showing today probably have a large team of people behind them. It's not like one or two people like most of you.
Exactly, exactly. And also keep in mind that the idea of hiring help sounds very unachievable, but we have alphas in HAA right now who have had to hire teams in order to help them produce their products. And that's part of the cool thing about success is it's not just for you. You should aim to be successful because someday you can give a job to someone else. You can help somebody else and give them a fulfilling job as well. So you should also strive for that level of success as well. One thing that I always point out when we do shop critiques that I wish more sellers would do is get a photo of themselves into their shop owner photo, because this is where I would love to know who's behind this brand. Who is the face? Is it, I'm curious. I always want to know. So that would be something really cool that you could put in here. They have a lot of different listings. They've got all products that kind of link back to, plants though. They've got black raspberry vanilla soap, bug off lotion bar. I don't know what a teddy bear sunflower is, but I want to cuddle with it because it's so big.
It's very pretty.
It's very
I'm assuming
poofy.
this is one of those things where I'm assuming that they've probably got a brick and mortar somewhere in like a farm town that sells these kind of things, and that's why they've got these lotion bars. I don't know if anybody's been in the Midwest or grew up in the Midwest, but you have all those little farm towns that you can drive through where they'll just have things off the side of the road where you can buy flowers and soaps and honeys and...
It's a St. Louis, Missouri.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lip balms, all different, pure and simple, sweet orange, peppermint. So we'll go ahead. I mean, obviously these listings are going to be a lot different than a handmade product.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I guess we could probably click on this one and take a little look. Oh, they've only got one listing photo. Boo. I guess.
Boo. Yeah, I was about to say, with somebody that has that many sales and probably makes that many sales a day, they don't have time for all these products to be...
Let's look at the teddy bear sunflowers, though.
Scalability, y'all.
These are beautiful photos that they have.
Oh, good Lord.
I want these. And then they show what their seed packets are like. So once again, that's something that you guys can totally apply with your own products. In that last photo slot, or one of the last photo slots, just tossing in a photo of how you can expect that item to arrive. And for this one, I'm sure they just reuse this photo for all of their listings. So they don't even need to go take photos of just this particular seed packet. No. You can just show what they all look like. So let's go ahead and pop back up. Obviously,
God, I love this shop.
Obviously, the shop has lower cost items, which means that though they do have over 300,000 sales, their profit margins might not be as high as some of the other shops that we're going to show today. But I just wanted to talk.
Looks like the average price is about $2, so they're probably somewhere in the $600K range.
Yeah, but they are. I think that this is one that was on the most sales yesterday list. So obviously, people are loving their products. Really pretty
this
photos.
Shop is awesome. Their photography is next level.
There we go. Angela, and look, Marc with a C. I wish Angela would put her pretty face in more photos.
And their shop policies: independent family farm producing heirloom seeds, raw honey, natural body care product. All of our seeds are 100% non-GMO, non-pollinated, or open pollinated, and heirloom.
Cool.
Cool.
All right. Maybe we should do some shopping from them this spring. That's pretty cool.
Maybe.
All right.
We actually have a couple of seed shops, I believe, we could shop from.
Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and you can switch back to us.
Main face.
Let's see. Did we have any questions before
any questions? I don't think we had any questions.
Pom-poms.
Somebody said, have you seen that they're doing stat badges?
Yes, I did. That was something that was brought up during the E-Rank Q&A that Pam Duthie and I do in the E-Rank group on Facebook every Thursday. By the way, did you guys know that I stream twice a week? I stream over in the E-Rank group. So make sure that you join that on Facebook and look for me every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern, because we never have enough questions over there.
I'm going to turn down our noise removal a little bit.
Okay.
And then that should, you keep opening tabs here. There we go. And then this is the next one you want to do?
Yeah.
All right. Is shipping included with what?
F11.
I shared it first.
You butthead.
I did. So they made $1 million off of seeds? Probably.
We're, like we said, not all sellers that we are featuring today have hit $1 million because a lot of their costs or a lot of their item prices are lower.
Their net probably is over $1 million. I mean, in that shop had 300,000 sales, average of $2, but they also had $6, $20, $5.
Right.
Like they probably have, but April Fools.
Fun fact, we're starting with the littlest shops first. Be patient. We'll get to the big ones.
We're working our way up.
We're working our way up.
We're working our way up here. Calm down.
Couple of the sellers
Relax.
we're going to show have made over 1 million sales.
Yeah, so clearly they've made more than $1 million. So I love this. I absolutely love when shops do the thing. I'm not saying you have to do this, but when they take the under the banner, take the same color white that Etsy uses and drag into their banner.
So one thing that made this shop stand out to me a lot is obviously the very bold and crisp black and white branding. I love, but I also love that this is a circle. All they've done is made it's normally a white square and they just put their logo in a circle and then they, you know, obviously have some white space around it. But because it's not something that you expect, most Etsy shops have a square here. It stood out to me. There are a lot of really interesting and subtle branding elements about this shop that I love and that I'm going to be pointing out that the average shopper might not notice, but that help the overall brand perception. So this is a shop that I had actually never seen up until this week. They have not been in this like highest selling category for very long.
No,
Maybe
they kind of exploded. Yeah,
they kind of came out of nowhere. And I don't know if maybe it's because they're in the TikTok sticker creator scene.
Probably.
But I'm not sure where their popularity came from, but it came out of nowhere. And they were on the list of most sales. They had the most sales on Etsy 3 days ago. They were #1 on the list. They had made over 1,000 sales in a single day. And yesterday they had made like 900 something sales.
Something like that. This is a good conversation to have, though, about scalability, because there's a good chance that their recent fame, they're reaching 110,000 sales. They probably went viral for a reason or another. Got shared somewhere. Somebody on TikTok shared them. This is one of those things where I will need to investigate this, but I'm sure there's
TikTok, somebody just said.
Okay, I'm sure there's quite a few occurrences where people will end up on this list and then have to shut their shops down because they literally can't keep up with order requests.
Yeah.
So just make sure that if you're in an industry that could potentially blow up, that you have a plan to be able to scale things. If you end up like going from 10,000 sales and you make 100,000 sales overnight, might be a good idea to take some of that money and invest into some people to help you.
There's some details. She doesn't even announce what time her shop opens because it sells out so fast. She just opens and it's Hunger Games style shopping time.
That's how a lot of like clothing brands and stuff are. It's very big. Tech.
That's how Art by Starla and Marc used to be.
Yeah, that's how we did our entire brand.
Yeah, our Etsy shop was like that.
But yeah, scalability is important. Make sure that you have a plan that if you sell something that could go viral, like flowers or stickers, something that's easy to make go viral, that you at least have a plan in place. That I'm sure this person probably went out and brought 50 more sticker printers and hired a bunch of friends for a couple of days.
Maybe since everybody's talking about Acorn and Crow on TikTok, if you are trying to find brands to study on TikTok, I'm going to go ahead and add them after the Friday Bean so I can check it out too. But maybe follow them on TikTok and see what they're doing, because obviously they're doing something that has made their brand explode very, very fast. They've made over 100,000 sales.
She just moved to a studio so she could hire help.
That's awesome.
There you go. And she opens and closes her shop when she reaches capacity.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So she's probably sitting there on her computer all day like, oh, okay, can't print anymore.
And, you know, submissive and
we got some wordy dirds for those of you who have kids in the room.
What I really love, though, is that these are $4 each. That's high end.
For stickers?
For a sticker.
They might be big, though. But I love what they actually do with their photos. Same exact background, same exact setup, very busy picture. Good example of a picture that's very busy. However,
but look here.
Even though it's busy, the product is still the center of attention. No matter what the product is, your eyes are drawn immediately to the picture because of how she presents it. That is a mock-up.
Look at this. Acorn and black feathers, Acorn and Crow. Isn't that the coolest subtle branding element ever?
Yes. This is an example of how you don't, I mean, it's a mock-up. This one isn't, but
Yeah.
the main picture is a mock-up.
What I love is how, like, this is one of the pieces of advice that I give you guys, where I say, put your product, if it's small enough, next to a precise unit of measure, because at a glance, I now know exactly how big these are, because in my mind, if you told me that something was like, 3.5 inches, I could be like, it's like,
Okay, cool, yeah.
around, like, I could kind of imagine it, but when I see this, I can visualize this a lot better and know how big the products are.
Do you think they're POD? No, she's almost definitely not POD.
No, and you know what? I have seen this brand on TikTok. I've seen some of, yes, I have seen some of, we keep saying she, but we don't know that.
Well, yeah, that's true. Most of a lot of people are referring to her as
okay.
she up here. That's why I did that. But a lot of these like super high-end sticker shops are not POD. It's not cost efficient to be POD, and your return isn't as good as doing it yourself. It's more work.
Is this one of the ones that does order pack, like the cool order packing TikToks, where they show like all the, they stack up the stickers for the orders? Let me know.
POD is print on demand, Charlie. They have 349.6 thousand followers on YouTube, and the YouTube channel directs to the Etsy shop.
That's amazing.
She definitely purchases her stickers and pins.
Let's see. Got filled out about section. Would still love to see some photos of the shop owner, but at this level of success with a viral TikTok.
Scroll down. She does have a print shop. Oh no, local print shop and a printing company based in Utah that specializes in creating quality custom notebooks and stationery products. So she does. That doesn't necessarily mean she's got like an actual POD like Printify or something like that. She might have a local print company and a local print shop. So she uses two different print facilities. So I'm assuming that some of her products, probably not her main stickers, are the ones that are POD, and then her actual stickers are the local print company that she uses.
Yeah.
Because there's no way a POD company would be able to keep up with this kind of
wall of text below. Please read before messaging. That's great.
Current processing time, because she's got a huge lead, is 1 to 3 weeks. Take time to pack up your order, not the time that'll take to ship once it's been mailed. Blah, 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 blah. This is what we call covering your butt.
Yes.
And then she's got the countries that she ships to.
Cool.
So she's got a very limited shipping. She doesn't ship to a lot of places.
Huh.
Most of the UK and the EU and the US, that's pretty much it. That's understandable, though. A lot of people can't get their products to go to places. It's art.
Yeah.
It's shipping art, so.
All right. I think that we're good on this shop.
Sandwich cult.
I think that we're good on this shop. Are you ready to move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Okay.
She said I need to find her TikTok. If anybody knows what her TikTok name is, go ahead and post it.
I think it is just Acorn and Crow.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Plain face.
Really cool. And I know a lot of you guys make stickers as well. Stickers have been, I think last week it was this week. Last week on Etsy. Stickers was in the top 5 most searched items on Etsy. So that's huge.
She said something about a big box challenge. What is it? I don't know. In the announcement.
You'll have to go back and
look at it, Amber. You got a computer. You're on it. Do it.
Do it.
F11.
I wasn't paying attention.
I wasn't either. All right. This is a big one.
All right. Mod Party has been one of the biggest shops on Etsy for a really long time, with over 1 million sales.
Almost to 1.3 million sales.
Holy moly. They have a huge team, as, would be necessary if you started out as a small company, exploded, and then ended up with 1 million sales. You would obviously need to hire more people.
Yes.
Mod Party sells bridesmaid gifts and party favors and, things like that. One of my favorite things about this shop in particular is, for one, cohesive models. You can tell that the shop owner does a lot of the modeling, and maybe friends or family or workers of the shop do a lot of the modeling, so it's not just mock-up photos. Another thing that I really love is the color cohesion. The color cohesion on this is so aesthetic. Everything goes together.
Yeah, you know the vibe. And guess what? Not a star seller.
Not a star seller. Just got the buyers are raving, which just means that, she's got multiple 5-star reviews. I wish that she would put her name here, but we do have her photo, and I can't remember her name, but it is down below. We'll find it. Let's see. Keyword optimized tagline, which is perfect. We also have an email list link, which is great. What I really love, though, is when you start scrolling down and looking at these photos. They are so good. I'm sure that she probably also has a viral Instagram account or some social media account to show off these products. But I'm not, I mean, I don't need bridesmaid gifts, but I want to buy some of this stuff just because it looks so nice. Like these tumblers, these cups, these are so nice. Super nice. Cohesive background, simple props, very simple photo styling.
But everything looks very, very professional.
Yeah, same color palette. Lots of this beige and kind of rose dusty pink. It's so nice. So we can scroll down a little bit.
Obviously, they've got amazing reviews.
Shop updates. Looks like she's been pretty consistent with her shop updates. Mm-hmm. We have a really great
lifestyle photo.
Yeah, great about section with photos of the team members. This is what is her name? It's down below. Hina? Hina? H-I-N-A? Yeah. Hina is the owner of the shop. But this makes me feel more connected to the brand. And then you've got all of the employees of this brand. Obviously, you would need a huge
with
team
this many people
for a million sales just on Etsy, and they've also got a website.
Yeah, there's not other than potentially digital. There's no way you could pull a shop like this off by yourself.
Absolutely. And I know that a lot of you look at this and you're like, oh, this is mass produced. And you know what happens when a tiny shop blows up? They kind of have to do some outsourcing in order to maintain. So I'm sure that they do have some manufacturers and things like that. But it's one of those things where I'm sure that she didn't start that way. She had to grow to this. She had to build up to this level of success. So these are the shops that we want to look up to in that idea of what would I do if my shop blew up? What would I do if...
Scalability. That's what I was talking about. Scalability.
Exactly. How could I scale to this level if I got featured?
Charlie asked, so if it's such a big shop, is it still profitable to be on Etsy? I'm assuming you mean for this seller. Absolutely. That's the point. And I can almost bet that they've got their own website as well.
It was listed down below.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where they can still appear like they're one of the businesses that are like us. They're the small guy that lives at home and runs their business from home. It still has that appearance. It's not any different from any other shop. I mean, realistically, the only difference is that they've scaled up.
Yeah.
It's still probably the same products they've always been making. They probably make some more products because they've got the money to outsource to bigger and better things. They've probably got some like jewel companies and glass companies and things like that they outsource their products to, like any big brand does. But yeah, of course it's still profitable for them.
All right, you want to go to, how many more do we have? Do we only have one more?
So, two. Andrew said, so these first three shops all have their domain name directing to their Etsy store. Okay, so then their domain redirects to their Etsy store.
Fantastic, that's even better.
And the thing is, I know it may not seem like it is the most profitable thing to be on Etsy, but the thing is, there's two parts to this. For one, they don't have to direct their own website. They don't have to have a whole team of people making sure that they're getting traffic on their website and staying secure. If you're making 1.2, 1.3 million sales in a shop, you got to consider the amount of traffic that is to a website.
The server overload.
Right. Like we had our year before last, we had a huge influx of people go to Handmade Alpha Academy, and because we're a smaller company, we don't have a server that can handle massive amounts of people, and it slowed our whole website down.
Yeah.
and their traffic is probably 10 times what that was on a daily basis. So there's no way without hiring a team of people or a company and spending a bunch of money to do that. And for two, again, they have their existing traffic for their audience that they like, and they also constantly have an influx of new people that they don't have to advertise to that are coming to Etsy for the express purpose of buying this kind of product. They're coming to buy bridesmaid stuff. So even if they've never heard of this shop, the chances of this shop showing up when they search for, I don't know, bridesmaid gift, 100% chance they're on page one for like half of the products that are being searched for because they've been around for so long.
Even with personalization applied, Etsy is still going to recommend this shop.
Absolutely. And that's not to say that you can't compete with a shop like this, because you absolutely can. Chances are, I don't think we popped any of their listings open to check out their SEO. Chances are their SEO is probably not very good.
No,
Bachelorette, bridesmaid gift. They're using the absolute most basic thing, and then they've got their SKU in the freaking title of the product.
Yeah, they do that. That's an old tactic that a lot of people used to use. That way, if anybody wants to find, they say, oh, maybe I can find this cheaper. What big wholesale companies will do if they're looking at a shop like this is they'll grab that product ID and they'll put it into Google to see if they can find this thing any cheaper. And all they'll get is, this listing. So this is an older tactic, especially if you're a high volume company where you're getting a lot of sales, putting that ID in there. That way you can ensure that they're not finding that product anywhere else, or you're basically telling them you can't find this anywhere else. We're the only people who sell it because we make it. But that shows a little bit of brand authority there, because if they're the only company that makes this product, then you're not going to find anything else under that ID.
And their SEO sucks, which means that you still do have a chance to compete with them, because you can show up on page 1 side by side with them. If you do optimize, you keep up with your audience, you have good customer service, you have good reviews. So, it's not that you can't compete with these people. You can. It's going to be a little bit harder for you to compete with shops like that, obviously, because they have a lot more return customers. But some people just like buying from new shops. So don't be afraid to try to compete with these kind of people.
Yeah, absolutely. These aren't the type of shops that I personally buy from. Let's just say that.
I actually usually search for shops that are a little bit smaller. If it's something that's very personal and I have to have it by a date and guaranteed that it's going to be high quality, sometimes I will pick a higher shop like that. But for the most part, a lot of people want to shop from a slightly smaller shop. Some people even have the skepticism that this is like a corporate brand with a corporation behind it that's running an Etsy shop for the sole sake of selling to people.
Happens.
Which does happen, absolutely. I'm sure at least one of these shops has some kind of corporate backing behind them. There's no doubt, but
exactly. We're surface level skimming right now.
Yeah, we have no idea how that would even work with this kind of thing, because these shops are at a scale that most of us, it's like winning the lottery. These kind of shops, they got lucky, they got some famous person shared them, or they got shared in a magazine that was popular that month, or they're really good at social media, like the sticker shop. And Amber was talking about her box challenge. It was literally a thing, and I love the concept. Basically, if you could purchase enough things from her shop that she couldn't fit it in her biggest shipping box, then you win the challenge. So it was like a challenge for her customers to order so much stuff, and apparently she shares that stuff on TikTok, so it's working.
That's a really weird challenge. Buy as much as you can, and if it doesn't fit in my box, you win.
She probably gives them freebies and stuff for breaking her, rules or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, next shop.
Next shop is Caitlin Minimalist. Caitlin Minimalist has been one of the biggest shops on Etsy for the last few years, with over 1 million sales. It's mainly personalized handwriting jewelry, so you can submit a little your name or signature, and the shop will make you a minimalist piece of jewelry with it.
She's very consistent with her pictures. Scroll back up. You're always going so fast with your stuff. However, I will say that this is an example of not having to go too hard with what you do. What I mean by that is these pictures are kind of booty from the ground up, but they're consistent. This picture was taken with crappy lighting. This picture was taken in a lower resolution than the rest of the pictures. However, the branding is consistent. The color scheme, even though they were all taken in different lighting in different places, it looks like they were taken in the same place. They have the same colors. It's all consistent. That's the main point that I was trying to say. For a shop that has 1.5 million sales, the picture quality could be better. You know what I'm saying?
Compared to the other shops that we looked at.
Compared to the other shops that we looked at. But what my point is that it doesn't matter. You don't have to go out and buy a $3,000 or $4,000 camera to take high quality pictures. Somebody said, what, I shouldn't take my pictures with my iPhone? You absolutely can. You just need to know how to use the equipment you have in the best way possible. That's all that matters.
Absolutely. And keep in mind that we're using the best monitor on the market, so you're probably going to look at it,
Be like, oh, that looks fine. This is a high quality 99% color accurate 4K monitor.
But the banners do look great.
It doesn't look bad. I'm not saying that it looks bad, but the pictures themselves are inconsistent between each other in terms of quality, but consistent between each other in terms of the actual branding itself. Anyway, continue.
Keywords: dainty, personalized jewelry. Personalized jewelry is a great keyword. Dainty jewelry is a great keyword. So we've got two great keywords in here. We've got cohesive branding. You can see the beige translated right over into the banner.
Dude trying to sell his products.
Oh, shoo. Get out of here. Get out of here. We don't want your stuff. Let's look at some of their photos. Lots of color consistency taking place. I love that they have models with their actual pendants, and I really actually like these low light photos. I think that they show off the shine of the jewelry.
They do.
They're not overly edited, and I like that. I think that it adds something really unique to their photos.
Dulcie had said some look like they have filters. I think they all have filters, and I think they're using the exact same filter on every single picture, no matter what the lighting is like. Because when you're scrolling through, every picture has like the same white balance and everything else to it, even though the pictures have different lighting.
They might have a great preset that they just kind of...
that's what it is, a filter. It's a light filter.
Yeah.
They're probably using Lightroom and sticking the same Lightroom filter on everything.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people that do photography do.
So we'll take a look here in a minute, but let's go ahead and scroll down.
Great reviews. Look at that. Shop updates.
These are really pretty.
1.5 million sales, and isn't too good to have shop updates.
Yeah, these are really nice. Really nice photos down here. And
look at that lifestyle photo.
I love this. It's showing the personalization. Our design team prepares each personalized piece of jewelry. I really like this because when you see a shop like this, your first thought is like, oh, 1 million sales. They're probably buying stuff on eBay and reselling it. But then you actually go down and you can see the photos of their team working on the jewelry. It's really interesting.
More than likely, at a shop level like this, they either own a production company, have scaled to owning a production company, or they pay a high-end production company to make the baseline product, and then they customize it in their own facility.
𝔽𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕒𝕚 Minimalist team. So they've got
designers.
Yeah. That's really cool.
So they more than likely own their own smithing shop. I mean, at this level, they either have to hire one or own their own. You can't have like 4 people making this many sales.
No, definitely not.
They have a huge team behind them.
Oh, I'm sure that's probably why it just says 𝔽𝕚𝕚 Minimalist Team rather than naming them all.
All 50 people that work for her. And you're at 1.5 million sales at an average cost of a lot more than $1.
20, 30, $40.
You're talking about a shop that's probably made upwards of $20 to $30 million on Etsy. This is a big shop.
Very cool. Very cool.
Very cool products. Very well done. But again, for the size of shop, other than this photo, if you go back to the first few photos, it doesn't look like something that was taken by a professional photographer.
Yeah,
it's still very amateur in its appearance.
Yeah, some of you take photos that are just as good as this.
Or better.
Yeah, they're great photos, but it's not unachievable. You guys make photos that are just as good.
Yes. Agreed.
And the SEO, first keyword is perfect gift for her. That's not a keyword that I would ever,
Minimalist name necklace by 𝔽𝕚𝕚 Minimalist.
And
they're trying to rank for minimalist. That's what they're trying to get for.
And then they've got their product.
Their SKU.
Right.
Yeah. Chances are a lot of these products have been in here since that was the tactic, and they haven't changed the SEO since.
Which is good. That's a good tactic, is don't change the keywords of a listing that's selling. And they probably get searched by name.
The photos tied to the shop name, Minimalist.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Absolutely. Very nice. Very nice color cohesion. Very nice photos. Very nice filters. Like I said, I really like these photos that have some shadow to them. I think that it adds a interesting depth, because I can kind of even see that it looks like they've almost blurred a little bit and made the necklace in focus.
That's what it looks like to me.
Very interesting.
I mean, it was probably taken with a real camera that can do things like that.
Yeah.
You can filter that, but you can also do that naturally with a camera. I can't get searched for by name anymore, except if people search for shop name. Oh, because the term amber. That sucks.
Yeah.
All right, and then the last one, I think everybody knows what we're going to be doing here.
Oh, yeah. The last one has been the #1 seller on Etsy with the most sales in the world for years. Let us know in the comments if you know who it is. Let's see if you can tell us who is the
Who is it?
Who is the #1 seller on Etsy? I will say that she was not on the list of most sales yesterday.
No, probably not. She's probably lost steam, but at this point, it really probably doesn't matter.
I don't think that it's that she's lost steam. I think that it's that she does launches on certain days. She does very specific launch days. I thought that there were tissues in this, and there's not. There's...
Yeah, everybody's guessing it. Yeah, you're all right.
You're right. It's Planner Lady.
It's Planner Lady or Lady Planner, the bullet journal person.
Planner Kate. Planner Kate is the biggest.
She has the most sales on Etsy, as far as we're aware. I don't think anybody. Yeah, that's what I thought. She's right up the road from us.
Yep, Planner Kate. She is in Ohio. She has had the most sales on Etsy for quite a while. She's not a star seller, so there's some evidence for you that star seller isn't all that important. But she has a viral Facebook group where she does launches on Wednesdays and or Fridays, and it's one of those cases where she launches something new and everybody flocks to her shop and they buy it. So
simplistic marketing, simplistic branding, super crisp.
Yeah, this banner is so nice. You can immediately identify her branding colors being the navy, the teal, and then this kind of beige color.
You should have her in for an interview.
She's probably too busy.
She's too good for us. Sorry, guys.
I don't think that... Look, if anybody who was featured today wants an interview, message us at starla@handmadealphaacademy.com and you will be a priority. We will make
Absolutely. We'll make it happen. We will move. We'll move something out of the way.
We will move mountains for you, big seller.
We will absolutely do that for you. And by that, I mean for us.
For our growth.
For our growth. How is she not a star seller? Can you imagine the volume of messages a shop like this gets on a daily basis? There is it's spam. They probably get 100 spam messages alone per day.
Yeah. Star seller, that message response rate. Do you think that on the weekend, Planner Kate is sitting at her desk replying to messages? No, definitely not.
Amber said 5 freebies with every order. How's that financially feasible? Because she's got 1.83 million sales, Amber. The thing is, you can either invest into yourself and splurge and spend all the money that you make, or you can do things that you are spending money on that go back into your customers.
And look at that. She isn't keyword optimizing at all.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Here's my SKU. June clip art.
You know where she's getting her traffic? Not Etsy SEO. She's getting it from her Facebook group. She is funneling people.
Because she doesn't care about people coming to Etsy. She's probably entirely retired. Retired.
She's retired.
She probably could. Relying on her Facebook audience to come over. And the reason that she does things like this is because she wants people to be able to come to the shop, because she's probably got something for literally everything at this point, and just say, I want June clip art, and then they get exactly what they're searching for. Obviously, most of you can't do that yet, but it's another example of things that are benefits of scalability.
Exactly. We're trying to show you things to inspire you. We're not saying that you'll be the next Planner Kate, but it kind of just shows you that an Etsy seller can make 1 million sales. An Etsy seller can make $1 million. An Etsy seller can do this. And though it's one of those things where, yeah, this might be unachievable, you can still make a living.
I don't agree with the sentiment. I don't agree that it's not achievable. I think it's just a matter of finding your way to make it achievable for you. You have to find your thing. Who vibes with your personality? There is a glass ceiling to things. There is a limit to how certain industries can grow. But it's a matter of you to take full advantage and put the time into it. If you've got 6 extra hours on the weekend that you're spending having fun and you want to have fun, do that. If you want to put that 6 hours into figuring out ways that you can scale your business, do that. Look at this. This picture isn't very good.
No, there's only one.
It's not very good. But the thing is, somebody said, they jumped on the planner craze pretty early, and they did around 2014. That's about when people were getting crazy about planners. And she probably dedicated every waking minute of her life into her business, and it paid off.
Yes. All right, let's go ahead. And I know that there were a lot of questions up higher in the chat, so we'll have to...
I pretty much hit most of them as we were going through, honestly. I saw one way up there
from
Any big shops that do original art / stickers? Yeah,
yeah,
two of them.
The one that we just covered does original art and stickers. There are tons of shops that do original art and stickers.
I guess I can bring this crap
the Acorn and Crow, there was not a single piece of copyright, like character items in that shop. And I know that a lot of people are like, oh, well, what people want is Disney characters. I need to make what people want. Well,
incorrect.
We
don't agree with you.
That's simply not true, because there are plenty of sellers who don't, and we just saw one.
All right, I'm all the way back up to the front of the chat. I'm just going to do a quick scroll through. I can't search, so I don't care. I don't care. If your question gets skipped, I'm sorry. We've been going through all of this stuff. We can ask it later, but give me a minute to look through first.
You can always repaste it in the chat if we
just give us a couple minutes to go through, and if we miss your question after a few minutes, you can repost it. That's how Crycut sticker folks that got more popular are now outsourcing their stickers. Anything that you can do, if it only takes a couple bucks off your top end, that you're able to simplify your process and scale higher, I don't have an opposition to that. Isn't there a point where small shops who became huge need to move off of Etsy? No?
It's up to you. I always do recommend having another place to sell. That way, if your Etsy shop gets shut down,
your audience can still reach you.
Yeah, but is there a point when you should completely get off Etsy? Tell that to them, that they should get off Etsy. They'll probably laugh at you because they're making bank. The thing about Etsy that I love is that Etsy is a busy shopping mall, which means that you are always going to be getting new people. You are constantly going to have people who are visiting the mall, who are going to find you for the first time and get that initial brand exposure. That's how Etsy becomes a funnel. Good thing to do is make sure that you have an email list set up. That way, when they make that first purchase on Etsy, they've got an option to join your email list, whether that be because you've put a little coupon or, whatever, a printable in their order, or you have invited them, or maybe right on the listing, you say, hey, want to save, 30% on this purchase right now? Join my email list for an automatic discount code. And at that point, all future purchases that they make can be made on your website, because once they're on your email list, everything that you send from your email list can direct them to your website. So you can't message them on Etsy and say, buy from my website instead, but you can message them on Etsy, invite them to join your email list. And once they're on that list, you use that list to market your website. And there, Etsy becomes the funnel, basically.
Yes, but the thing is, most of your audience is used to you buying, or used to you being on Etsy. So if you grow a huge audience on Etsy, that should remain your primary, in my opinion.
There's Cynthia's. Thank you for resubmitting. Or did she resubmit, or did you find it?
We are still halfway up here. Is the brand Snag accurate on their information? I looked up a name that said it was taken on Etsy, but Etsy is showing there is no shop by that name.
So Brand Snag is like the big one, but I had the same thing happen to me when I was recording the video, the one that posted on Tuesday, where I recommend Brand Snag. Same thing happened to me. I was looking for a shop, I made up a silly shop name and, tried to use it for the example, and Brand Snag said it was taken. So I'm actually starting to wonder if they don't goof up every once in a while.
Or how dated their data is. It could be, they might be a couple months behind on their data. The thing is, data is expensive.
Yeah.
And the data that they're probably buying is probably just as expensive as eRank buys, if not more expensive. So smaller companies that do newer things, being a little bit behind, don't be too skeptical of them. But if it remains that way for a long time, then maybe find a different service.
Maybe we'll reach out to them, because I've been recommending them. They've got an affiliate an affiliate program that, if it's if they're paying people. I'm not a part of their affiliate program, but if they're paying people to shout their brand out, then you would think that they would keep up to date on their data. So I'll see.
There's a woman in the laser groups who got kicked out for being a shady designer. She went off on her own, and now she makes hundreds of sales per day because of her followers. Still a shady designer. Okay. I like Etsy because of not needing to maintain a website. Exactly. And you can always have your domain redirect to your shop. Is there a market too big, like bath bombs? There are incredible amounts of shops. How should that change my strategy? Just do your best.
Yeah, I mean, there's when you see that a market is very, very large, that means that there's demand for what you're making. What you need to do is find the thing that will make you stand out in that market. So for example, the Acorn and Crow shop, yeah, there's a lot of sticker shops out there, but Acorn and Crow apparently has a viral TikTok account, and that's what makes them unique. Planner Kate has a viral Facebook group and does 5 freebies, which, you know, I'm sure that she wasn't able to do that initially. She had to work up to things like that. It's one of those things where you got to figure out what your gimmick is going to be. It can be just having great branding. You can have phenomenal branding for everything that you do. Some of the examples that I really like are Harmon Brothers ads. Harmon Brothers are the ones who do the commercials for the Squatty Potty and the Poopery and Purple Mattress, where they have these super funny commercials that grab your attention, but the products are relatively basic. And you can, I mean, there are tons of Squatty Potty concepts, but they're the ones who did the rainbow unicorn, like squatting and pooping rainbow poops for their commercial. And like people loved that commercial. They found something that made them unique. And it doesn't need to be as crazy as that. There was this shop on Etsy a few years ago that did rings. And they had a white background, and they had a little white plastic dog that they had just painted. It didn't have any black details or anything, just solid white. And they would take their rings, and they would just put the ring on the dog's neck. And that's how they would photograph their rings. And the rings themselves were pretty basic. But the fact that they photographed them on a little dog, it made it stand out, and it made it different. So what's your gimmick? That's, you know, that's the thing that's going to set you apart.
Melissa said, but too many scaled up volume shops turns into Amazon. I disagree with that. I disagree with that entirely. For one, Amazon doesn't have just like 2 or 3 people that sell everything. Amazon is still a very wide, broad audience. However, Amazon is turning into a China sells everything website. So Amazon's kind of on the downturn, I think.
Here's my thing, guys. A lot of times when we talk about, and that's why I've been really nervous to do this stream, is because when we talk about successful shops, it's like everybody's like, yeah, this shop is good when they're climbing to success. Yeah, great. You're so inspirational. You go, girl. You know, and then they hit this point where everybody hates them and they're like, oh, you're a sellout. You don't make all these by hand. Like, at what point are they suddenly not inspirational anymore?
You can't, why are you hating on someone for scaling their business up and doing what they did to start their business to begin with?
Yeah.
Like, you should celebrate that success, not hate it.
Yeah, and you know, I think that it's one of those things. It's like when Mark and I first got into coaching. It's like people were really, really all for like, oh, Etsy tips. Yeah. So happy that you give all this free advice, which we do. 99% of what we do is for free.
More than 90. It's almost everything we do is free.
But then when we introduced like, hey, we've got a coaching program because people asked us to do that, we had a couple people who were like, oh, so now you want money? I'm like, yeah, I got to eat.
Yeah.
I've got a mortgage.
The hate is very real. Don't let people do that to you and turn you into that person. It's very easy to become that person just for a matter of perspective. Like YouTube, we're just now to a point where YouTube makes like $400, $500 a month. And that sounds great, but there is zero possibility that we would be able to provide everything that we did if we were living solely off of that. That's why we turned to coaching, because it makes it where we can concentrate entirely on you guys.
Exactly. Like, that's why we are able to do what we do and help you guys and be here every Friday.
And still eat.
We can eat.
We like that. Mark looks like a badass Viking because that's what I am.
That's the look he's going.
The look I'm going for. Kind of hipstery.
Turn so they can see your ponytail length.
It's my ponytail.
It's getting long.
It is getting long. I wish I had the money to just buy a bunch of stickers to try and win them for free. That's a rather strange concept. It's the same thing with clothing and shoes. Like, you look at how many people, like with Yeezys and new Adidas launches, like they go from being available to sold out within 5 minutes after launch because people just hype about these things. They're like, yeah, I bought the new Yeezys. I'm never going to friggin' wear them. They're going to sit in my closet for like 6 years until I sell them for half of what I bought them for.
Yeah.
Like if you create that kind of artificial, unnecessary hype behind your product, and that's how you blow up. Most of these products aren't worth the money that they're selling them for, but they've built up a hype.
And they have to keep up with demand.
Yes, that's the hard part, is keeping up with demand. But that's the cool thing about becoming a brand. If you can get yourself to a brand like that, where you can scale your prices up, drop down the amount that you produce, that somehow, for some reason, a lot of these brands increases the hype and makes it where you can limit the amount you're selling, but sell out everything that you put out immediately after you sell it. Anyway. Random question. How do you find out how big your target audience is? Like, how do you know if enough people are potentially interested?
So take the main keyword that your product is. Like, for example, I wouldn't use like marble tumbler. I would use, I don't know, travel cup, or just tumbler with straw, stainless steel tumbler, something really basic related to what I have. And then I would go to erank.com and I would type it into the keyword tool and see how many people are searching for it. If there are people searching for it, then there's a demand for it. That's how I would do it.
Yup.
You got to make sure that what you're making isn't so obscure that there's no demand. That's one of the first things that we talk about in Handmade Alpha Academy, is products that are nudist Buddhist, which is Alan Nation. He said that you can be a nudist and you won't be too weird, because that's just one weird thing about you. And you can be a Buddhist and people won't think that that's too weird, because that's just one weird thing about you. But you can't be a nudist Buddhist, because then that's just way too weird. And that's not to say that nudists or Buddhists are weird, but if you stack too many weird things with your product and you make your product too weird,
it's too abstract, too obscure, and there's not enough people looking for it. Like,
exactly.
Oh, I make crystal jewelry for people who were abducted by aliens in the 1980s.
Yeah.
Probably not a lot of people searching for that.
Yeah.
So,
sounds like I'm all for that though.
Yeah, and there are occasions where people will ask if there's an interest in a particular industry, and sometimes you have to consider the kind of people that are in the industry. Are the kind of people that are in the industry that you're selling to, are they the kind of people that are shopping on Etsy? And are they the kind of people that are willing to actually spend money on the thing that they're interested in? And sometimes that answer is no. So you gotta know your target audience. Are any of the shops you are looking at a single person doing everything? Zero chance that it's a single person.
Probably not. But
The only one that had one thing listed in the bottom was Planner Kate, and we know for a fact that she's just herself.
But don't look at that as unachievable, because Amber Marie has Lucy. When I had art by Starla and Marc, I had my dad helping me. Like, don't think that that you could never have someone help you. Even if they can't make your products, you can get help. If you were to blow up to the point where you needed that help, you would be making enough money to hire someone to help you, and you could create a job for someone else. Don't look at shops that have employees as being different from you. What happened was that shop owner ended up getting more work than they were able to. Virtual assistants aren't that expensive. You can find a VA we've got alphas in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community who are VAs who would be willing to, help you out. And it's not one of those things where you have to employ them. They basically are being paid as contracted work, and you pay them, for helping for however much you guys agree upon. I'm sure that some of these bigger sellers that we showed today are actually employed by the companies, and I'm sure that most of these are at least LLCs by now. But if you're not to that point, you can totally just contract out, your VA for a little while.
Mm-hmm. Is it okay to just say design team without naming each person?
Yeah.
If you're small enough that you don't need to do that, if they don't care, then yeah. But if I were making something for somebody, I would want my name in it.
I think
But yes, it's time to. Most people have their pets and stuff If
your design team doesn't want their names disclosed, you could totally just say design team. I don't think that there's any rules against that. Planner Kate, Planner Kate, Planner Kate, Planner Kate.
Yes.
Planner Chick.
But you can have her plan on an interview.
Oh.
Yeah. I'd love to watch an interview with one of these shops. I would love to do an interview with one of these shops.
I would
pay for a plane ticket out and film it at their facility.
Yeah, film on location.
If any of you are actually still watching this that are running one of these shops, I will pay to fly out to you with my equipment
and vlog it
and interview you professional, BBC style, British Broadcasting Company.
None of us are
not
British.
The other thing, this is not Alphas After Dark. It'd be funny if she wasn't organized personally. Honestly, probably not.
If her whole office
Probably
is just
not.
a
It's
mess.
probably trashed like most of our offices. 5 stickers is like a 16th of the page. Cheap to make. I agree.
Hi there, Rubbers.
Stickers are cheap, an easy item to impulse buy after midnight in bed. Yeah,
You say that like you speak from experience.
Let's see. Love your positive attitude about Etsy. It's our whole livelihood. I can't have a negative attitude about Etsy. However, that does not mean we agree with everything that Etsy does. Etsy makes stupid decisions like every other business.
Yeah.
I wonder who/how they create all of those illustrations and graphics, all original. Most of them have a design team. The other sticker shop had an illustrator and a design team, so... always disappointed that this does not come up in my feed, even though I have it checked off. It's not your fault. I guess I'll just start.
Are you on our email list?
If you're not on our email list, join that down below, and you'll get notified every week when we do our Friday beans. It's one of the only things that we email people about.
Yeah, we email every Friday, 2 or 3 hours before the bean starts. And guys, follow the new Alpha Instagram. It's just at Handmade Alphas on Instagram, and in my stories. Every single Thursday night, I post the link. I have the story come up about what the topic's going to be. Our Hello Pancake song plays, which is my favorite song. And then you can set your notifications. And there's a countdown. There's a timer that will be on the Instagram stories. If you hit that timer will actually give you a phone notification when we go live. But it's noon Eastern every single Friday, 11 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. if you're in the UK.
If you market to your niche, no need to use trademarked stuff. I sell sewn goods and don't use a single trademarked fabric, even where other sewers rely on trademarked fabrics. Yeah.
Absolutely, Julia.
Have you seen the show Vikings? No, but we're going to.
We're going to watch it.
We're going to. We have so many other things that we're watching and don't really have enough free time. Like, we only watch TV for like an hour at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We don't watch TV.
The only thing that we've been watching lately is we're just rewatching that 70s show, and we do that every year.
Like once a year we'll just binge watch that 70s show.
I can quote every line of every single episode of that 70s show because we watched it so many times.
For some reason.
But that 90s show is coming out soon. They're going to have, Deborah Jo Rupp and Kurtwood Smith. Kitty and Red's characters.
And there will be some people coming in from the original show from time to time.
Yeah.
Like doing
cameos.
Cameos.
Yeah, but they're going to have
they're all busy people.
Eric and Donna's daughter, Leia. It's going to be them, like, grandparenting Leia. So,
please
very
watch
excited.
Vikings. You look like one of the characters. No, I don't.
You're stroking his ego. What do we got?
That's dangerous. Is brand snag? Oh yeah, well, we already read that.
Thank you, Cynthia. Feel free to resubmit questions if they were like towards the beginning of the stream and we missed them for some reason.
Jimmy said 214 watching, 44 likes. That's a shame. It's almost like it's too hard to go down to the little thumbs up and just click it.
Man, it's free.
It's weird. It's free. It doesn't hurt anything. And it takes literally no time at all.
Oh, don't run away.
He said, don't touch me.
Don't run away from me.
Kind of a stupid question. Even if a shop has been on Etsy for a number of years, is there still a possibility for big growth? Absolutely. The amount of time you've been on Etsy has nothing to do with the amount of growth that you're going to have. Again, it starts off with your audience. If you're selling something that is extremely obscure or something that isn't super popular at the time, then it's going to take you a little bit longer. But that entirely depends on how you build your audience. A lot of people will say, oh, I don't have Facebook. Oh, I don't use social media. Well, you're unfortunately missing out on a huge portion of people that probably want to buy your stuff. And I understand that some people don't like social media and privacy and this, that, and the other. But first of all, it's 2022. Privacy doesn't exist. So get over that. You have a cell phone in your pocket that's always listening to you, trying to advertise to you. So if you own a smart TV, it's also listening to you. If you've agreed to the terms and conditions to use apps like Netflix and stuff like that on a modern TV that has all that built in, it listens to you too. It uses your decisions that you make to cater advertisements to you. Privacy doesn't exist, so don't get over that. But a large portion of people, the majority of people on Earth that live in countries that buy on places like Etsy, use social media. So you should have some kind of social media to market yourself. You're going to have to build a personality to your brand. You're going to have to build a brand, and you're going to have to sell to people that you probably don't know that you have to sell to. It's part of business growth. It's part of a journey.
Melissa said you guys weren't alive in the 70s, were you? Honey, I was born in 1992.
She just turned 30.
I just now turned 30.
She did. She just turned 30.
But,
which is wonderful because our target demographic on YouTube, less than 1% of our audience is under the age of 25. The majority of you are between the ages of 35 and 45.
it's because we're old spirited.
We're old spirited.
That's
I actually don't agree with that either.
we're immaturely mature.
Yes. Okay, can you message past customers about new items in the shop? No, you may not.
No, you can only message your customers related to a transaction and within reason of the transaction. So like 2 months out from the transaction, no. If you're using my swipe files, which are free, they're a great way to rank higher in search because they help you to build positive reviews, which are one of the things that help build your listing quality score and get your listing seen by more people. Those are linked down below, but you can also go to alphasugar.com, and those are a way that you can message your customers safely to recommend things like, hey, can you leave a review? You can also insert your mailing list into my template that I've created for you if you're trying to build your own funnel. But they are guaranteed to work, and we now have data to support it because through erank.com, we were able to poll real Etsy shoppers while they were on Etsy shopping through a little pop-up. And we were able to ask them, what are the most important messages that an Etsy seller can send you throughout the transaction process? So the swipe file series actually hits all of the points of contact that customers said were important to them. So really fun. alphasugar.com if you want to learn more about them. I've got all the information on the page. All right.
Great point, Starla. Our Etsy shop was on vacation for 2 months, and we didn't have a second web page at the time. We make 6 figures a year, and they still didn't think twice to pause our sales. Yep.
It's not about pausing your sales when you go on vacation mode. When you go on vacation mode, it's the same as if you've got listings deactivated or if your shop has listings sold out. Or if listings are just, marked as unavailable for whatever reason. Basically, you maintain your listing quality score by customer interactions. That's people finding your listings organically in search, clicking on them, favoriting them, as long as they've found them organically, not if you've sent a listing to someone and said favorite it. That doesn't count. But if they find it organically in search and favorite it, if they buy it, that's the number one thing that's going to help. And if they leave a positive review, that's also going to help build your listing quality score. Now, the problem when you go on vacation mode, it isn't the active vacation mode that hurts your shop. It's the fact that for whatever amount of time you're on vacation mode, no one is able to go into any of your listings and click on them and interact. Therefore, it's almost like Etsy sees that listing like it went to sleep. And when you come back from vacation mode, Etsy doesn't realize that your listings are awake again. So you kind of have to do the job of waking them up. And the way that you do that is you drive people back to your shop to start clicking around, run a flash sale and promote it on social media. Make sure Etsy knows, hey, I'm back, by getting in there and, doing some external advertising, driving people to your storefront. That way they can click around and the algorithm is able to kind of recognize that you're back, if that makes sense. That's how you kind of, your listing quality scores don't go away. They just go to sleep. Does that make sense?
If you change your shop name, I think the old name is still unavailable.
Oh, okay.
For a portion of time, I'm sure, at least.
That would make sense for Brand Snag.
Would it be too difficult to do a seasonal shop for things like Halloween costumes? Not necessarily.
No,
I think it's all in the advertising and how you build the audience.
Yeah, you got to consider, look at Spirit Halloween if you're in the U.S. They only pop up from September, or I would say even August, I think is when they open, August through October, and then they're gone and they make no sales throughout the rest of the year. Can you make a lot of sales from that time frame?
Yeah.
If you're doing costumes, that's going to be about it. But if you make Halloween decor, you've got to market all year around. We've got a ton of sellers in HAA.
The goth audience?
Yeah.
I've advertised to the goth kids. They love that crap.
Yeah, if it's costumes, it's just going to be a very specific time. And you could even do Easter. You could not do it just Halloween. You could do little Easter bunnies and do lots of holidays. There's a lot of things that you can do. But if you just wanted to do Halloween, I would recommend not just having costumes. I'd do some decor and some stickers and some other things that the goth audience would like year round.
Mm-hmm. Important question. Did Marc play Elden Ring? Yes, I did. Hot take. It was the best Souls game yet, though just like every other Souls game, it was alright. The audience is toxic. I have a t-shirt shop on Etsy. Can I add baby body suite to the shop? Suit. No, that is with an E on the end. That is sweet.
Oh, well, that's what they meant. They meant suit. Yeah. If it's clothing. I mean, that makes sense. You can technically add anything you want. You can add, you know, underwater basket weaving to your shop. You just need to gauge your results. I'm not going to tell you what you can't add to your shop. Does it fit with your niche, though? Sounds like it. Just make sure that the designs are cohesive. Do your research. Do some keyword research on eRank and, you know, be thoughtful about the designs. Don't use the word onesie. Graco owns that, and they will get mad at you.
They'll get you.
They'll get you.
When will you review shops again? Probably in a month.
Yeah,
we'll do our live public ones here, and we're considering doing paid ones off camera after our next HAA launch.
So what I want to do is, if we offer paid ones, because so many of you want them and we can usually only get through like five during a live stream. So we're thinking about doing them paid. That way they're worth our while.
Limited paid. We're not going to just offer it all the time.
Right. But, oh, runway boy.
Runway boy.
But what I'm thinking is you'll get one price. If you don't want it on YouTube, you'll get a higher price. But then we might cut you a discount if you give us permission to record the critique and post it to YouTube, because your critique might help other shops. You know, other people might hear your critique and find some value from it.
We just don't have the time to do it all the time.
Exactly.
That's the main issue. Like, we're busy pretty much all the time.
Up until,
so that time's got to come out of something else.
Up until Handmade Alpha, I mean, you guys, I haven't really been talking about it a lot because my mental health is like right now. But
welcome to being a coach.
Yeah, Handmade Alpha Academy, we're in the middle of re-recording it because it's going to be launching, you know, again in June, but we want to have it totally revamped by then. I used to take Saturday and Sunday off working, and I can't afford to do that anymore. I have to work every single day, all day, just until June. After that, I can relax a little, but I'm very busy right now.
How do you find your target audience?
There's a lot of different ways. That's a very broad question. Look at what you're selling first and foremost, and you need to decide what problem does it solve. Okay, so what problem does my necklace solve? What problem does my cup solve? Once you identify what problem it solves, then you're going to be able to narrow down a little bit more about who it's for.
Visualizing them. What's their lifestyle?
Exactly.
What do they do? Who do they like? Who do they hang out with?
Planner Kate, for example, is she selling to unorganized people? No, she's selling to people who want to organize their lives a little bit. Is she primarily selling to men with the cute little designs? Probably not. I'm sure that she has quite a few male customers, but I'm assuming that her primary demographic is women. One of the things that you can do if you already have an Etsy shop open is go into your past customers and start looking at profile photos. With their profile photos, you can typically nail down a common age range that you see. Or we had a shop a couple days ago who I helped, and she couldn't nail down her target audience, but I looked at the names who had left reviews. They didn't have profile pictures, and the names were like, oh God, they were like really non-millennial sounding names.
Non-millennial sounding names.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I got you.
Like Glenda, and I'm not saying that there aren't millennials named Glenda, but
there aren't many of them.
Right. So I'm like, okay, no profile pictures. Most of their names are they're not modern. And I'm like, your audience is probably women over 40. Like, these are all female names, no profile pictures, which, that's something that we might see with an older audience.
Yep.
And older names. So you just
please no one be offended. We use the internet and we say things like they are.
Yeah, so
please don't be offended by things that are true.
Yeah, just take what we're saying at the educational level. If you notice that all of your customers' names are Jessica and Jennifer, and they all have little profile pictures where they're like drinking coffee, and
chances are they're probably under the age of 45.
Yeah, it's
just how it is.
Use some observation skills.
Use some observations, and don't let a mindset get in the way of something that is true. How do you protect your artwork on things? I have a competitor that is stealing other people's designs. I've done watermarks, but that seems to put people off purchasing.
Well, technically, you have a copyright on anything that you create. So
yes.
If you want to be, if you want to get serious and really, really buckle down, if they steal your work, you can get a lawyer. the thing is, you own that design if you made it. If it's your artwork, you own it. You have a copyright on it. Just like my book that I wrote, it's mine. I wrote it. If you were to take it and copy and paste the whole book and try to publish it, I could sue you. You
would sue you.
I would sue you. And you can sue them if they steal your work. Contacting Etsy is usually your best first
That's the first
case.
place to go. Legal stuff never looks good for anyone, so.
Yep, start there. And if Etsy doesn't do anything, we have an alpha going through this where they have contacted their lawyer because the person refused to take the artwork down. In terms of protecting it, though, there are tools that will literally remove a watermark in seconds from any design.
I can do it in a couple minutes, and I'm not even very good at it.
If someone wants your work bad enough, watermarks aren't going to stop them. So, yeah, just stay vigilant. Issue threats. Not nice threats, not mean threats. So, the threats of
Please explain what you mean by issue threats.
Issue threats of lawyers.
Take this down, or you're going to catch these hands.
issue threats of lawyers. Say, I will be speaking to my lawyer if this design is not removed from your shop this week. And
create a fake Instagram account, spam message them naked pictures of old men.
I wouldn't do that, but I would definitely take legal action if you ask them politely to remove the designs and they don't.
Yeah, be nice about it, remain professional, don't be petty, that kind of thing. Does someone know where I can find out what characters I'd need a license for? Like Disney, I know I can't make Cinderella stickers. Is there a database?
If Disney owns it, you can't make it. So basically, you can make things that are in the public domain, which are things that are over 90 years. So for example, don't quote me on that. Someone in the chat give me the real date. I think it's like 90 years. You might see a lot of Cinderella products on Etsy. You can't make Disney's version of Cinderella. You can't do not Cinderella, I'm sorry. Alice in Wonderland. You can't do Disney's Alice in Wonderland, but the actual story of Alice in Wonderland and the characters are in the public domain. So if you had your own artwork of those characters, you could totally do all Alice in Wonderland products. You could do a whole Alice in Wonderland shop. You could call it the Alice in Wonderland shop, and that would be okay. The second that you use one of Disney's characters, you violated their copyright, and you can get in trouble. There are no Disney characters that you're going to be able to use. None of them are old enough, other than the original Steamboat Willie, which is what Mickey Mouse was created from.
Alpha's After Dark, dude.
But Steamboat Willie is still Mickey Mouse. Therefore, even though he's technically in the public domain, I believe that Disney still owns him. It's like this weird gray area. Just don't do Disney. You don't need to. You just saw tons of shops that are successful without Disney. I would just stick to original characters.
Mark looks like you could star in The Last Kingdom. That's interesting because if there's any agents in here looking for people for TV shows, I am available.
He does great voices.
I do great voices. Most of them are really, really stupid.
Yeah.
And when a small business grows, the wealth is shared by employing people, and they tend to pay more tax than most corporations. Yup. Booty.
Wait. Dulcie, I'm in the process of optimizing my SEO keywords and descriptions for both shops. Don't worry about descriptions. Etsy doesn't read those.
Yeah, don't worry about SEO optimizing those. Those don't matter. Unless you're trying to Google optimize for those. And again, most people aren't searching for things on Etsy on Google. Boop, boop, boop.
Yeah, don't waste your time.
I make personalized hand-painted sports balls and can only do so many a week, so I raise my prices higher than all my competitors, and I'm still too busy and not advertising. Yep, that's how it be.
You just keep increasing the prices by a little bit every time, because eventually, you'll get to a point where your orders are manageable, but you'll also get to a point where every order is worth so much that you don't need to work as hard. So you're making the same amount of money or more, but you're doing less work. So less orders, maybe, but less work and more money.
Do you think we need to lightning round this because it's 120?
Okay.
Do you think free shipping makes a difference? No, I don't.
So in the 7 factors that Etsy says influence rank on Etsy, shipping price is one of the 7 factors that Etsy introduced a few years ago when they said that they were going to prioritize free shipping items in search. However, if you go to Etsy right now and type in any keywords at all, and you look at the first page that you're recommended, the products on that first page, not all of them are going to be ships free, which means that what Etsy originally said isn't actually the case. What they mean now, and I think it's because so many sellers got upset, I believe now that they have left it in those 7 factors only because people can filter by ships free. Most shoppers don't shop like that though. So Etsy still says yes, but I think so many sellers got upset by it that, yeah.
What do VAs do?
Virtual assistants. You can have them do anything. They can be your photographers, your photo editors, the people who do your SEO and descriptions. They can be the people who do your marketing for you. They can be the people who run your social media, who manage your email addresses, who reply to customers. They can be people who, you know, anything that they can do virtually. A virtual assistant is someone who works remote.
Amber was in Mark's basement.
She
Yes.
was here.
She came here, hung out for a week.
We have a Friday Bean about it.
We do. Amber said, "Shut up, Mark. You didn't even interview me when I was in your basement. You're not playing her Kate, Amber."
Yeah, Amber. God. We interview you every day through Marco Polo.
Let's say you've been on our YouTube channel numerous times.
She's been on our YouTube channel more than anybody else.
You did a Friday Bean.
While you were here.
That counts. Can't wait for that 70s show. That's my era. See, that's the thing. There's so much that happened. Cell phones, the internet, like, there's a whole bunch there. TV. Good TV. Bubbers is my spirit animal as he is mine. Did he grow more stripes? Nope, but feels that way, doesn't it?
Wait, is there a way to block suggested shops due to regional location? I don't think so.
No, I don't think you can block shops or customers.
I'm 17 since a few days. I'm the exception.
It's so weird thinking like
You're not 17.
people that grew into emotional maturity and developed their conscious after 9/11 in the United States, how different the world was before that. And
Oh,
then
the shift.
immediately, and then like the shift in the way that the world was immediately after that.
Yeah.
It's weird that they'll literally never know that. It's a strange thing. Starla, you're the same age as my son, who is the youngest out of 4 kids. I'm 69 and not your demographic, but I love you guys.
You are
a demographic. That's not true.
35 to
35, and then our oldest is like 80.
We've got
35 to 80 is our main demographic, but the actual main portion is like 35 to 55, and then I want to say like 7% of our audience is over the age of 65. So you're absolutely our demographic.
We've got a couple alphas in HAA in their 80s, and they're like they're like so tech savvy. It's awesome.
Age is a mindset more than it is an actual physical number. As long as you're not the kind of person who refuses to modernize, you can be successful in business no matter how old you are. It might take more work because you were like already fully grown up and considered yourself to be old before the internet came out.
Yeah.
You know, but that doesn't matter as long as you take the time to learn or try, you know?
While you're finding the next question, I'll tell my funny story. My great-grandma, who pretty much raised me because my dad was a truck driver and my mom was a nurse and she was gone, you know, she worked night shift and slept all day. So my great-grandma raised me and she was just like a little old lady, sat in her recliner, had like the curly white hair. Old lady. And my great-grandma didn't know how to use the remote. We had the floor model, like 70s wooden box TV on the floor. And she would get up to change the channel and then waddle back to her seat. So my mom took our remote and taped all the buttons over other than volume up, volume down, channel up, channel down. And my great grandma would go, "Oh, I still just don't know how to use that thing. I don't know. I'm going to mess something up." And she would still like get up and it would take her like 20 minutes just to get across the room to change the channel because she refused to touch the remote. Don't be like Starla's grandma.
Do you keep a planner?
I do.
She does. I do not.
I do. I do the stickers. I do everything. I have the legend planner. I've got a few reels on my Instagram, Handmade Alphas, where I fill out my legend planner and show like what I do with it.
How to create an emailing list.
My favorite email list is MailChimp.com because it's free up to 2,000 subscribers. We don't actually cover how to use it here on my channel due to there's a lot of legalities like GDPR, the Can Spam Act, and things, you know, that you need to be able to follow. But if you want to learn how to do that, Handmade Alpha Academy opens in June. We walk you step by step how we recommend using it for Etsy. But if you want to wing it on your own, MailChimp has a YouTube channel where they pretty much have, you know, everything that you need to get started, you can watch their videos, and they've got webinars and things. So they've got a lot of really great content. But MailChimp is the one I recommend. It's very easy to use.
What's the app? Monkey something? MailChimp.
MailChimp?
I think. Yeah.
Monkey
Watermarks,
something.
it's tough. Copyright is there, but it's a hassle to enforce it, most often aggravating for small businesses to pursue legal options. It absolutely is. That's why you take the small option of going with Etsy first.
I believe that if you want to buy your actual copyright, though, it's $45 for a book.
Yeah. First, make sure you are, in fact, the original creator and that there isn't something else who beat you to the copyright first. Yeah, because it's very hard to actually do something original.
Yeah, unless it's like your artwork.
Mm-hmm. Steal my copyright and I'll send Will Smith to pay you a visit. I love it. Cinderella is a Brother Grimm's story, so as long as they don't use Disney rendered Cinderella, it should be okay. Yeah, there's quite a few like that.
Brothers Grimm is all public domain.
You can't say that and expect us to not ask for a sample, Mark. Unfortunately, that is not free. So can I use their color palettes? Names like Harry Potter, is that protected? You cannot use... There's a whole argument going on about colors here because we're getting towards the bottom. Colors are kind of complicated, so we'll answer that as we go. Can I use their color palettes?
Technically, you could use a palette.
You can use the palette not in the context of the way that it was used in the original creation like Harry Potter. You also can't use names or likenesses used in it. You cannot use the name Harry Potter.
You can't even use... one of our alphas got in trouble. I mean, Potterhead is a fan-made term for Harry Potter fans. She got in trouble for making Christmas ornaments called, like, Potterhead ornaments with the characters. So you can't use anything related. So even if you were to use the palette, you wouldn't be hitting, like, the search demographics. Because the second that you put anything like wizardry or anything even...
Yeah, because there's like a whole argument about colors going on down here. Color is complicated because context matters, the way that you're using it matters, and the way that the original, if it is a created color, the way that you use it matters.
Like Tiffany blue, you can't call anything Tiffany blue, even if the color is Tiffany blue, because Tiffany owns Tiffany blue.
Yes.
Calling it the right to call it Tiffany blue.
So where do we find virtual assistants like that?
You can usually find them on places like Upwork. Upwork is probably the biggest place to find virtual assistants, but I do know that we have some in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community. That's linked down below if you're not already a member. It's free. Handmade Alpha Facebook community has a ton of people. Just make a post that says, hey, I'm interested. Oh, are we
Our
on?
camera went. Where'd our camera go?
Can they still hear us?
Can you still hear us?
Yeah.
Yes, they can still hear us.
Do the oops screen.
Oops screen.
There.
Oops screen. That's not what we want.
Anyway, Handmade Alpha Facebook community, you can post in there and say, hey, I'm looking for a virtual assistant. If anybody wants to message me or my price range is blah, 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 feel free to, send me a message if you're interested or email me. But yeah.
It's okay. I'll get it back in no time.
Okay. Can I have another
No, you may not.
question in the meantime?
Looking for questions. You can't see what I'm doing. I'll stop liking you at age 81. Yeah, by then. I did research and says colors cannot be copyrighted. You are correct. However, they can be trademarked.
The name of a color can, like Tiffany blue. Yeah, it's just teal.
Okay.
You can't say I own the color teal, but Tiffany blue, they own the right to call their blue Tiffany blue, so you can't say that your products are Tiffany blue, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So basically somebody was talking about like Ferrari red and that kind of stuff. Yeah. So you can use Ferrari red. You cannot call it Ferrari red. However, if you are a car manufacturer, you cannot use Ferrari red on your car without the permission of Ferrari. It's all about context, and I'm looking at the camera like I'm trying to talk to it. It's all about context and how you use things. You can't use trademark colors with the name or in the same context in which they were originally used, if that makes sense.
I hate that you can't see us.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, they can be trademarked.
I'm so glad that you guys can't see us. Now I can pick my nose. Most professional coaches ever.
I'm trying to learn about NFTs, and it would make me feel like I was 80 years old trying to comprehend how an iPhone works, especially when coding and math aren't strong point. Don't worry about NFTs. They're going to die off soon, just like crypto died real quick. I mean, it's not dead. It's just not, it's not for everyone.
Speaking from Mr. Moore, who's been doing crypto for quite a while now.
Years now, actually. I think we're getting to the end here. I'm ranked on page 1 for Ice Topper for months. Go figure. I'm revamping my site. Alpha's in the dark.
Alpha's in the dark.
We hear you. Was it the cat? Nope. It was our camera having a battery warning because I forgot to turn the overheat warning off.
Aw.
Changing the screen made you loud.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yeah, I have this screen turned down. Sound is now normal. Yeah, I don't know what happened to the sound. There must be a filter on there.
So we can't use Very Perry. I believe that you can use Very Perry because Pantone, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but Pantone creates those color names so that manufacturers can use them. I believe that that's the point of Color of the Year. You know what? I've never actually looked into it, though. If you're allowed to, they tell you to make your products in periwinkle because Very Perry is the color of the year. But now I'm wondering if, I think you can. Google it. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that that's the point of Color of the Year.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh,
they can still hear us. I'm just doing a quick thing.
Starla, where are your hands? I don't know. I've lost them. Let's see. Trying to see.
Yay! Look, we're there.
Oh, good.
We are there. However, it's going to be super loud and echoey for like a second, and now it's not, and it's way out of focus. Holy crap! Where's the focus?
Focus.
Focus.
Focus, Mark. Focus.
Look, we're focused now.
He did it.
We're also way heckin' zoomed in for some reason, and we're backwards.
That's
no.
And our logo's gone.
No. Yes.
Oh.
Oh my lord.
All right.
Logo.
Okay, we got it. For
Sound
the last
down, pictures back to normal. Yes, we are back to normal. Kinda.
You switched chairs? Yes.
Yes, we switched chairs. We do that when the video goes off.
That just to mess with you guys, to keep you on your toes.
You want to see us change appearance too?
Fire Queen. Okay, question for you. Why would someone buy a handmade, unique felted spirit companion doll, usually infused with magical symbols, herbs, and gems, etc.? Are you asking what problem your product solves? So I'm assuming that you create like art dolls, which that's a huge industry on Etsy. I'm a big fan of the art doll community. I'm also a big stuffed animal collector. There are more stuffed animals consuming our bed than there is space for us to sleep. I would say that usually it is for comfort, stress relief, and companionship. Especially if you've got like scent satchels with yours, I would say that it is a stress relieving product, and I would market it as such. Especially if you're kind of going on the kind of more spiritual side with it. You could totally talk about. I would do research into what like a stuffed animal does for your mental health, because I know that there are a lot of studies about using stuffed animals for anxiety relief, especially with children. But I'm sure that the same rules apply to adults as long as you have that positive affiliation with stuffed animals.
What problems do t-shirts solve? Not being naked.
Not being naked, but if a t-shirt has a quote, it's representing your personality.
Yes.
You dress the way that you want to be seen. Think about teenagers and how teenagers dress compared to like the statement that they're trying to make to the world. Like Mark and I were little goth kids. We wanted to stick it to the man. We wanted to stand out. We weren't conformists. We wanted to be the little goth kids on South Park. But that was, our personality shining through. So hopefully your products do the same thing. Please don't let the stream turn into what product problem does this product solve? Because that anytime I answer a few of these questions, you all just put your products in there, and then I have to play magical guessing game for an hour.
So somebody said that Pantone's colors are copyright. I still disagree with that. I have the thing right here. Published materials of Pantone LLC are protected by copyrights and include graphic presentations, color references, Pantone colors, Pantone names, numbers, formulas, and software. This does not mean you cannot use the colors, you just cannot use the names of the colors, and you cannot use the colors in the context in which they do, like your color of the year can't be the exact name and color of Pantone's.
But
However,
you can't call it Very Perry?
I don't think you can call it Very Perry, no, the names are copyright.
But you can still call it Periwinkle.
Yes, you can still call it periwinkle because periwinkle blue is the color that it is. You just can't call it Very Perry. So again, context matters.
Periwinkle's purple.
Whatever.
Is periwinkle purple or blue? Me and my daughter had this argument last night. It's purple.
Somebody said, which chair is more comfy? Mine.
His.
Mine by a long shot.
You want to tell them how much your chair costs?
Yeah, so we used to do the gaming chairs because they're more comfortable than crappy office chairs that you can buy at Walmart. However, the next logical step up is like a legit chair meant for people. Like this is a Herman Miller chair, so it's like I think it was like $1,600 shipped.
He has degenerative disc disease though, so
I need a chair that can support me in the correct way. This chair is sized, the bottom moves with the back, that way I'm always supported no matter how I'm leaning. Anyway, enough about that. Who cares?
He's got a bad back.
Swap sweaters. Now that would be impressive. Yeah, my sweater would be too big and hers wouldn't fit.
That'd be fine though.
Crappy Crafter said to hide your nipples, Chris.
That's what problem it solves.
Yes. Somebody asked if we could, what the rules were for a minor selling on Etsy.
You have to be 18, so you would have to have a parent.
Yeah, so I think that's Etsy's rule, but they also have like local restrictions too.
Yeah.
So like some businesses, some countries might not necessarily let you run a business even with your parent as the guardian. If you're like 16, you might have to be 18, but we're not legal professionals, so we don't know.
Yeah, and in most cases, like the kid can make the product, but the parent has to be the shop owner, and basically it has to be their bank account on the shop.
If you need back surgery, Mark, I can do it for $5.
Ooh.
The place in my back where I would need surgery is in a place where I would likely have to have the surgery redone every 5 to 7 years. So that's the reason I don't get back surgery, because I don't want all that crap. Did you guys see the SNL skit about goth kids, the one that works at Cinnabon? No, we don't watch SNL.
No, but it sounds funny.
It does sound funny. Okay.
Are we good? It's lavender. That's what I'm saying. Periwinkle's purple.
It's lavender.
It's purple.
Purple. Is that an Aeron chair? Yes, it is. It is a Herman Miller Aeron.
Aaron?
And Aeron. Aeron. And this headrest is from a separate company you can buy on Amazon, and it just attaches to the back of it. And it's the same color and material that the chair is made out of. I don't know how they source it, but it's the same thing.
Blue purple.
That's pretty much it. I'm glad I got the camera back up. Thanks for answering the questions. Well, that's why we're here.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. A couple things that you're not going to want to miss in case you're new here. Every Tuesday, I've been sharing new videos. I've got a 12-minute how to do Etsy SEO tutorial on my channel from 3 weeks ago. And from 2 weeks ago, I've got a video that talks about long tail keywords, why they're important, why you need them, and how to research them. And then last Tuesday, I posted a video of the top 5 things that every seller should do before they start an Etsy shop. However, you can still do those 5 steps now if you already have a shop. So that video is on my channel now. Make sure you go watch it because it is exploding in views very quickly. It's very strange. It like took off last night for some reason. And then today I'm going to be recording a video that you guys asked me on Instagram. Well, I asked you what you want more of. Do you want more newbie level trainings or more advanced level trainings? And 95% of you said advanced. So I'm going to do an advanced video for this upcoming Tuesday. It's going to cover how to actually know if your SEO is working. So you'll have to know how to do SEO before you can watch that video. Make sure you watch the 12-minute Etsy SEO tutorial from 3 weeks ago. Because you'll need to watch that before you can understand this one. But the one on Tuesday is going to teach you how to know if your edits are working and how to track your progress for your SEO. Other little freebies, make sure you go to alphasugar.com to get my swipe files if you don't have them already. Most of you do, but if you don't, you're missing out. All of the testimonials and things that we have on that page are amazing. You can read through customer experiences. Right when you sign up for those, you even will get a video in the email that I send with the swipe files that will basically tell you like the data behind the swipe files and the customer surveys that we were able to do through eRank. Other thing to make sure that you make note of is that Handmade Alpha Academy will be opening on June 14th. I am so excited. We are revamping the entire program with all new content. It's going to be a lot of fun. This is my 9-module self-paced course that will teach you A to Z how to build and market your brand on Etsy. It's going to teach you how to make an email list, how to establish yourself on social media, how to build a funnel, how to create this expert branding like some of the shops that we looked at today. It's going to teach you how to nurture your audience, how to build your, really, really great funnel where you're going to be able to send people direct to your Etsy shop. But it's also going to teach you how to do Etsy SEO as well. That's how we create the double-sided funnel where you're getting traffic organically from Etsy SEO and you're getting traffic from social media. So if that sounds interesting to you, there is a waiting list link down below. Signing up for that doesn't obligate you to buy, but it does ensure that you get our big $1,000 discount when doors open on June 14th. Enrollment's only going to be 10 days, as always, because Mark and I are a 2-person team, and we try to keep those enrollment windows limited. But there is a 30-day money-back guarantee.
No questions asked. You don't have to prove that you did anything.
Yeah, there's
things happen. We understand. We're not crappy people.
There's a bunch of courses out there that make you prove that you tried.
And we're not gonna lie and provide an artificial value or do any of the other sketchy things. Literally every other course creator does. We're transparent about everything that we do. So
everybody's getting mad at me on social media.
Well, trouble causers.
Everybody's getting mad at Starla on social because not everybody like you, everybody like the other coaches, because I keep like lifting the veil on the tactics because I took a course that taught me how to make a course.
All the other course creators took the same one we did. We're not doing all the things that they do anymore.
Well, the thing is...
You can tell who, or we can tell who they are too. It's funny.
The thing is, I took the course because I wanted to know, like, how do you make the website? How do you, like, build it all out? Mm-hmm. And basically, a lot of the tactics that they taught were to, like, lie to your audience and make fake countdown timers and run a fake webinar that looks like it's live, but it's not really live. And then put, like, the only thing that you put in the webinar is a sales pitch, but you make it seem like they're going to learn something, blah, blah, blah. You guys know it all because you've probably...
Heard it. You've attended these sales webinars for other coaches and been sold to.
I just had one that I took a webinar that I thought was going to be really good because I liked the coach. And it was a 45-minute sales pitch. And needless to say, I didn't end up buying the course. But anyway, we don't do any of that crap, which...
I think your chair and sweatshirt are infused, Mark. I think they are. Dulcie had talked about the chair because a lot of this is made with recycled materials. They use like ocean plastics and things to make the chair. I'm going to post a link to it.
Not an affiliate.
Not an affiliate. They are like $300 off right now. They're on sale. If you buy one, please reference the size chart and buy one appropriate for your body size. If you buy one too big, you are going to be very uncomfortable. If you buy one too small, your butt's going to hurt. So please buy one that's appropriate for your body size. This is the newer one, the black color that they offered. I think it's a little bit pricier, but they are like $300 off if you want one right now. Again, not sponsored. Can you whisper "monkeys in the fog" into the mic? No, we cannot. I don't want a copyright strike.
I don't know what you're going to do with that material. I don't know what you want it for. I don't know if you're going to like listen to it when you're alone at night.
Yes, so. It's very obvious once you've learned the basic tactics and such. Some things are handy, but it's so annoying to sit through one of those webinars. No questions. We do a webinar. However, we do not do the crappy sales pitch our course is worth. We used to do these things because we didn't understand the ethics and morals behind them, and that's why we don't do them anymore. I don't want to be sold to like that, and we try not to do anything that is that.
A webinar should be, here's what a webinar is for, okay? A webinar is meant so you can get a free sample of that that coach's teaching style. You want to
Yes.
learn if they flow with you, and if you like how they teach and you learn something from the free webinar that they've hosted, that is the pitch. That
Yes.
is the thing. And then at the end, there is always a pitch. Mine has a pitch, but I even say right before the pitch, if you're not interested in buying this, you can leave. The webinar part is over. Now
Yep.
we're going to get into the pitch part. So,
Yes.
see you later if you don't want to hear it.
If they're answering questions and the chat isn't visible to anyone, then it's probably not live.
Yeah.
It's probably not real, and it's probably not live, just for future notice to people.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just the nature of right
Yes.
after we created HAA, online courses blew up.
We are not saying that those courses suck. Some people's ethics are different. Some people were raised different. Some people have different opinions on the morals of how things should be sold. There's nothing inherently wrong about how other course creators sell things. We're not saying that at all. We don't like it, so we don't.
Yeah.
But enough crapping on other people. We love you guys. We hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend.
Follow me on Instagram at Handmade Alphas.
Call somebody you haven't called in a while that you love, and drink some water. Eat some vegetables, man. How long has it been?
Yeah, we've been doing Meatless Monday.
Meatless Monday.
Meatless Monday. I've been posting my Meatless Monday meals on our Handmade Alphas Instagram. I say my Meatless Monday meals. Mark cooks them all. They're not mine.
I do.
All right, guys.
But we will see you guys next Friday.
Yeah.
Next Tuesday, we'll have a video. Should have a video.
Yeah. All right, guys. See you later.